What is up, LudyBros Army? It is your boy, Big Bro Lamar Ludi, and I'm sitting down to showcase a profile for you guys. One of the decks that I've been having a lot of fun playing lately. It's Bulma. She's back, and she's putting in some work with a bunch of the new Earthling cards and some of the Namekian cards. Spoiler alert, some of the Namekian cards that came out in the recent draft box. I found a strategy, and I settled on something after a lot of playtesting that I'm really happy with. And I thought I'd go ahead and bring it and share it with you guys so you can check it out. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button, all the usual YouTube things. Hit that subscribe button, turn on that notification bell. We're going to be bringing a lot of deck profiles to you guys. You see my Star Wars mat there. I've got Vader. We're going to be bringing some Star Wars content. We're going to be bringing a lot of Star Wars content lately. A lot of exciting things happening with The Mandalorian, and the NBA kicked off last night. So you're going to want to make sure you have that notification bell turned on because we're going to be bringing some content to you left and right. All right, well, let's jump right into this deck profile. So I have Bulma here. She's the leader. Her permanent, all red and yellow, Saiyan and Earthling cards in your battle area are going to gain blocker, and that's one of the big strategies for this deck. She's got an activate main once per turn, drawing one card, so you're already plussing. When you go to awaken, when your life's at 4 or less, you're going to choose up to 2 of your energies, switch from to active mode, you're going to flip this card over. She's a little small. She's only 5k on her unawakened side, and she's only 10k power on her awakened side. Bulma Familial Bonds. She still has that permanent, all red and yellow, Saiyan and Earthling cards in your battle area gain blocker. Now she's got an activate main. Once per turn, you're going to be able to draw 2 cards. So that's really going to pump up your hand. And we're going to go ahead and we're going to run this deck with Bulma as the leader. The cool thing is you don't even have to get in that many attacks with her. She's really just supporting the rest of your deck. And you're going to let the cards here in this strategy really do all the work for you. All your battle cards are going to do the work for you. All right, so let's start things off. I'm running the Baba Champions Leader package. So I'm going to go ahead and pull that. We're going to set the rest of the spice off to the side. All right, I'm running a full play set of Baba Champions Leader. Auto, when you play this card, choose up to 1 Bandages, Spike, or Son Gohan card from your deck. You're going to place it in your drop. You'll shuffle your deck, and then you're going to choose 1 Bandages card from your drop area, and you're going to play it. Now, I'm running a full play set of this because this is what's going to be starting off our defensive wall that we're going to be putting up on our opponent. So we're running that full play set. When you go ahead, you play out Baba. She's an Earthling, so she's going to gain blocker. Everything in this line is Earthlings, so they're gaining blockers. So you're going to play them out. On that turn 1, you're going to search for the Bandages. You can put him into your drop area. You can put any of these cards into your drop area, but you're going to search for the Bandages to go ahead, put him in the drop, and then you can play him out from your drop. Or you can go ahead and use her effect to set up for whatever the next piece in your defensive chain is going to be. So we have Bandages to the rescue. He's got blocker already, and then the leader's also giving him blocker, so it's kind of like a double blocker. If your opponent is able to negate one of the skills, they'd still have another one to try and negate. Auto, when this card is KO'd, choose up to 1 Spike card from your drop area, and you're going to play that in rest mode. So here comes the Spike to the rescue. Literally, he's going to come out and rest, and he'll be able to further defend you. On the next turn, he's going to restand. And then Spike has an auto. When this card attacks, it gets plus 9k power. We don't care about that. Auto, when this card is KO'd, you're going to choose up to 1 Son Gohan from your drop area, and you're going to play it in rest. So what I'm running here are 2 copies of Grandpa Gohan, kind of at the end of the chain. Just the skillless Grandpa Gohan, and he's got 30,000 power, so he'll be able to restand, and he's going to gain blocker since he's an Earthling, but he's going to restand, and he's going to be able to put a little pressure with some swings as a 30k beat stick. So that's the full chain that I'm running. I'm running 4 copies of each, and then I'm running the 2 copies of Grandpa Gohan there at the end to kind of finish things off. The next card that I'm running is my King Piccolo's Underling. Now this card came out from the draft box. She is a 1-drop. She already has barrier built in. She's an Earthling, so she's going to gain blocker. And then auto, when this card is played, you're going to draw 1 card. So that's awesome. And then another effect that's going to come up handy, especially when you're going against blue. Auto, once per turn, when your opponent switches their energy to active mode using a counter skill, place up to 1 card in your opponent's life and 1 card in your opponent's energy into their drop area. So she's coming out for 1 energy. She's replacing herself in your hand. She's got barrier. She's going to gain blocker. And she's going to go ahead and shut down a lot of things that, especially for blue, a lot of the cards that they're going to be trying to use off of their counter skills. So that's a great card. And then I'm running 1 copy of the Gang's Femme Fatale. If I would have pulled another of the King Piccolo's Underling, I would have splashed that in. But I'm running this Mai just as a quick searcher, just in case if I'm missing a piece, I can go ahead, play her out for 1 energy. She's going to gain blocker, so it's going to be useful. When this card is played, you're going to search the top 5, and you're able to add an Earthling with energy cost of 4 or less. So basically, any of the Earthlings that we've already seen are going to be added to your hand. Also, this card that I'm going to show next is a very nice card that you can pick up off of that effect, Heroic Duo Videl. She's a 1-drop counter, and she's going to gain blocker since she's an Earthling. So she's going to be able to take and absorb 2 attacks. So everything that we've shown here so far is just that defensive wall. As you can see, we've got a lot of defense here. Bulma being a weaker leader, it's just going to make it, so that your opponent has a difficult time finally getting through to your life, and you're able to really control when you're taking those hits. Here's the super combo that I chose to go with, Bulma out adventuring. Auto, if your leader card is red and you and your opponents have a total of 8 or less life, when this card is used in a combo, you're going to draw 1, and if it's your turn, you get to choose up to 1 red Earthling card with an energy cost of 1 in your hand and play it. So you can do your combo, you can draw 1, then you can play out the Baba Champion's Leader. She can start off that whole chain. You can play out the Mai Gang's Femme Fatale, searching the top 5, or you can play out the Mai King Piccolo's Underling. It really opens up your deck to a lot of cards that you're able to play out and really kind of extend plays on your turn, because that effect goes in when you're comboing during your own turn. And then she also has an activate main. Choose one of your mono red battle cards or unison cards that's going to get +5 power for the turn. So if you do play her out, she's going to gain the blocker from the leader's effect, and she's going to be able to boost one of your cards. And then you can also combo with her, because it doesn't say card. It just says when this card is used in a combo, not when it's comboed from your hand. So it'll still be able to use that auto effect. So that's pretty good. That's why I chose her as the super combo of choice. Up next, I'm running 3 copies of Bulma the Bunny Girl. When one of your red Earthling cards other than a Bulma card is removed from the battle area by an opponent's skill, you may play this card from your hand. If you do, you'll play up to 1 red Earthling only battle card with an energy cost of 4 or less from your drop area. So let's flip this over. I like to look at the leader side instead. She's got unique, she's got blocker already built in, she's gaining blocker from the leader's effect. And then also, when your opponent gets tired of trying to get through this wall of blockers, so like, well, I'll just use an effect to KO this one or remove him, or remove him from the area by skill, then you're able to play this card out from your hand. And when she comes out, the card that I like to play out is, and I run 4 copies of this card to make sure that he's there in the drop area when the time comes and he's needed to come out, is Yamcha the Desert Hyena. So this is the card I'm definitely looking for whenever Bulma the Bunny Girl comes into play. But also you can do, you can play her out, and then you're able to play your Baba Champion's Leader. You can start your rebuilding your wall. You always want to make sure that you're protected so that you can have your finishers come in to do their work. But Yamcha the Desert Hyena is a great card to come in. I'm running 4 copies because I want to make sure I have him in my drop. Permanent, if your leader card is red, this card's going to get plus 10,000 power, so he's going to be up at 30,000. Auto, once per turn during a battle where this card is attacking, when your opponent activates a counter skill, you're going to switch this card to active mode, so he's going to restand. And he has another auto, once per turn, when this card KOs an opponent's battle card, you're going to switch this card to active mode, and it gets plus 10,000 power and triple strike for the turn. So he's going to come in, and he's going to just put in a lot of work. He's really going to put some pressure on your opponent, and you're playing him out, really just off of Bulma the Bunny Girl. You're not really going to be tapping the 4 energy to bring this guy out. You're going to be trying to play him out and cheat him out onto the board. Okay, so that's pretty much the Earthling lineup that we have going here. Very defensive. I'm going to go ahead and scoop all these cards up. It's very defensive. It works very well with the leader. Your leader is going to be plussing you with an extra draw on the unawakened side, and then 2 draws on the awakened side. So you should be able to see a lot of those pieces. Now, here we go with some of the offense, like the main offensive cards of the deck. I'm running 4 copies of Topo Righteous Aid. Now, he's my main counter of the deck. Choose 1 other card in your hand, place it in your drop area. The main target for putting cards in the drop area is going to be your Yamcha. You're going to want to throw him away. Let's see here. He's got a permanent. If it's your opponent's turn, you reduce the energy cost of this card in your hand by 2. So if I have him turn 2, I'm going to go ahead and leave my energy standing, and then I'm going to play him out so I can start swinging at my opponent with him, kind of drawing their attention. Auto, if it's your opponent's turn, when you play this card for the duration of the turn, your opponent can't attack unless they choose 2 cards from their hand and place them in their drop area each time. So not only are you going to have a defensive wall built up with the Baba and probably bandages on board turn 1, but then you're going to be able to play out Topo turn 2, ditching off that Yamcha and setting that later play for the Bulma the Bunny Girl to come in and bring some pressure. Now let's talk about the Unison lineup. I'm running 4 copies of King Piccolo Giant Force. He's got critical and dual attack, 19k. His -2 is choose up to one of your red leader cards, and it gets plus 5,000 power until the start of your next turn. I don't ever use that, but I am going to be boosting up this Unison. He's going to come out turn 3. -4 for 4 energy plus X. If your leader card is red, you're going to deal X damage to your opponent. So here we go. Let's get some algebra going. You have 4 red energy plus X. If X is 1 energy for 5 total energy tapped, then you're going to deal 1 damage. If it's 6, which would be 4 plus 2, then you're going to deal 2 damage. So it goes up like that, which I usually end up finishing off this game around turn 6. You will get up to 6 energy with this deck and how defensive it is. So I'm running the King Piccolo. Now there's no way to plus up his markers unless you slap another Unison underneath him, which is why I'm running 4. But I am running 3 copies of Bardock's Strategic Mind. He's got Deflect, Auto. If your leader card is mono red, when this card is played, you're going to choose up to one of your red Unison cards, and you're going to add 3 markers to it. So you're going to play out your King Piccolo, and then you can play out this Bardock Strategic Mind, and you can add those 3 markers right onto him, and that's going to give you, you'll have 6 markers there, and you'll be able to potentially tap for game with that combo. Now I am running 3 copies of Bardock for that one Mai that we mentioned earlier, the Mai the Gang's Femme Fatale. I might think about replacing one more Bardock Strategic Mind with her, and then that way you can run 4 copies. So that way you can make sure that you're always going to see this combo to kick those markers up on your Unison. Since we are running the red Unison, we're going to run 4 copies of Yamcha Merciless Barrage. Now, the reason why I like 4 copies of this guy is because he's going to come in for free. If you have a red Unison card with 2 or more markers in play, you can activate this card's counter skill from your hand without paying its energy cost. You can't activate his counterplay skill is you can't activate the counterplay skills of other cards for the turn. Choose up to 2 of your opponent's battle cards. They're going to get minus 15,000 power for the turn, and then you're going to play this card. Now, the big thing I like about him is that he's a 15k, and he's going to gain blocker from your leader. So, and he's coming out for free. So you have all these other, 1-drops that we were playing earlier on, but those are all, 5,000, 4,000, 6,000 power. Here you have a body that might be able to really absorb some attacks coming out for free. And that's why I feel like, I'm going to bump up the count with him. Another one of my boss cards here, I'm running 2 copies of this, is King Piccolo, 5 seconds to eradication. Now, I really like this card. He has Deflect, he's got Double Strike, and he's got Barrier. I really like this card in this deck. Permanent, if your leader card is red, your opponent can't activate blocker skills in response to this card's attack. So no matter what, he's going to come in. He's coming in with Deflect. He's got Barrier, so he's not going to be KO'd. And then if they have blockers on board, they cannot activate blocker against him. Auto, once per turn, if your leader card is red, when this card attacks, you're going to choose up to one of your red Unison cards. You're going to add a marker to it. So you're going to be able to boost up your Unison. This is another way to boost it up outside of the Bardock Strategic Mind. You're going to be able to plus up some markers onto him using this card's attack. Auto, you're going to add 1 card from your life to your hand. When this card's attack is negated, you'll automatically deal a damage to your opponent. So this is really great. You're going to be able to play out a card, and you're going to be able to, when they go ahead and negate your attack, you're just going to add 1 card from your life to your hand, getting, kind of refilling your hand, and then you're going to deal some damage to them. And then the final card that I have here is King Piccolo, the New Ruler. He's going to be played out for free. If you have his activate main is if you have a red Unison card and play with 3 or more markers on it, you can play this card from your hand, but you can't play copies of him for the turn. Auto, at the end of your turn, he's going to go to your warp. Permanent, if your leader card is red, this card's going to get plus 5,000 power, and once again, your opponent can't activate blocker skills in response to this card's attack, and he's got Double Strike built in. So once we get them down to 2 lives, we're going to be coming with a couple different finishers. We already talked about the combo, tapping 6 with King Piccolo to go ahead and just sneak those 2 damage. We've got this King Piccolo, 5 seconds to eradication. He's got Double Strike, Deflect, and Barrier, and then King Piccolo, the New Ruler, also coming in to finish the game. All right, well, this is my take on the Bulma Familial Bonds deck, running Earthlings, Namekians, and Saiyan here, and another alien from Universe 11. But I think that this deck really comes in and can put in a lot of work. You'll be able to hold off your opponent with some pretty much seemingly impenetrable defense there for a while, and then you're going to be able to finish the game any way that you want there at the end. All right, well, hey, thank you guys for tuning into this video. I hope you enjoyed this deck profile. Leave a like if you did, and I will see you guys in the next video.